my little insulated, isolated, protected world, safe from a lot of outside noises, but not completely. Things are softened, but if they're loud enough, I can still hear them. And at my workplace, there's they play music throughout the store over the intercom at all times, even when the store is closed and there's only employees in there, like myself. The music still plays. And it's a selection of some popular tracks from these modern days. And a lot of them I just have difficulty enduring and tolerating, withstanding the repetition. And the best word that I can think of to describe the feeling is intrusive and invasive. And it causes me great discomfort and distraction trying to concentrate on what I'm doing or thoughts or, just my internal monologue. Because I just get, once I start listening, it's hard for me to stop listening, and one song bleeds into the next. And I can't hear them. I hear it, it's very loud, but I can't make out words very well. I've never have. And to me, it just sounds like garbled noise that I can tell it's a human voice, but I can't tell what they're saying. So it's just noise. And if it's a song I recognize, a song that I've known for a while and I've heard, and I actually understand the lyrics to, it's like I'm more likely to be okay with it because I understand it. Even if I can't hear it, it's like I know what they're saying, I know what it's about, I'm even familiar with it. It's okay. And then there actually are songs that I like, but there's enough bad ones that I just resort. I found that wearing earmuffs at work to be my saving grace. And I don't like it, but for a while I was trying to get away with just earplugs, rated to reduce sound by about 30 decibels. For use at like concerts or working, loud equipment, or lawnmowers or chainsaws or things like that. For prolonged use, so you don't damage your hearing. I could still hear the music. They weren't good enough. And for months I was being extremely annoyed and frustrated by, still being able to hear the music. I thought if I went above and beyond and was wearing earplugs at work, that should be good. Nope. And eventually I got so worked up, I just couldn't take it. I was like thinking about just walking off. It's like just leaving. It's like I can't take it. I have to go. Because it has just been building up day to day. And there was no solution. I talked to people about it. I talked to management about it. Yeah, I'd been mentioning it to, it must have been really annoying how often I was talking about it. And other people, they sympathized, but, and some people were like, oh yeah, the music. And I can barely hear, and it's like maybe my hearing is just really good. I never knew that before. So eventually, about 6 months ago or so, I decided to take more extreme or advanced precautions. And I went to the local Walmart, which I usually try to avoid at all cost, and I will shop anywhere else first. But if I can't find whatever it is I'm looking for, then I do end up going there as a last resort. And in this case, um, hearing protection. In the uh, gun firearms section, these are shooting range earmuffs for people that you're on a shooting range and you wear hearing protection, and these are for that. And yeah, so at work I first tried to just wear these without the earplugs because the earplugs are uncomfortable and I don't like them. But I could still hear the music. Same problem as with the earplugs. So then I started wearing the earplugs and the earmuffs. And that's just mostly working. But for some songs, I can still hear it. But it's usually only if I'm really listening, I can still hear it. And if I know what it is and I'm listening for it, it's like I can hear it. So, but if I just easily get distracted or just focus on myself or my thoughts or what I'm thinking about or the work that I'm doing, then I can forget about it. I can not notice it. And I can find some peace of mind or I can escape the music, even though the speakers are right overhead. It's kind of sad, I think, the lengths to which I've had to resort to make some sort of accommodation and adjustment to my environment to allow myself to exist because no one seemed to care or be able to do anything to help. Not even management. They claim to have no ability to control the volume. And it seems to me in this, like they could have a schedule of a computer can control the volume of when it's playing at what volume, or does it have to be playing at all when the store is closed? The intercom system can be on for announcements and things like that, or emergencies, or employee conversation, or but does the music have to play? Couldn't that just? But management claimed that they have no ability, or they just didn't want to investigate, or because it doesn't bother them. So, and it's not a big deal because no one else is complaining about it. It's just me. And so it wasn't a big enough concern to look into. So it makes me feel extra valuable and important. And so anyway, this works well enough. And at first I was a bit self-conscious and felt like weird about wearing earmuffs. But I prefer this than to just be miserable and suffering and be angry. And it was really affecting my emotional state and condition and how I was interacting with other people, and it was just bad. And it would put me in a bad mood, and I would take that home with me too, and I don't like that. Like, I'd feel guilty for being in such a bad mood. And it's just about the music. It won't stop. I can't get it to stop. There's nothing I can do. I can't even change the volume. And it just goes on and on and on, and it's just repetitive. And it just doesn't have to be that way. So this was my solution. This is what I am. Anyway, I've talked about this for 10 minutes now. This is how important I find it. It's just a part of my life that I've sadly accepted as being a part of my life. And but it's not permanent. It's just for right now. So anyway, so that's that. I'm going to take these off now. And also, taking them on and off, it's like with the long hair, it's like sometimes gets caught. And it's So. That's better. I don't know how loud I was talking during when I had the earmuffs on. I think I was talking in a regular, quiet voice, but I can't say for sure. And now I feel like I'm overcompensating with being quiet, because I never know if my neighbors are out in the hall or coming in and going, and they might hear me talking. And it's like I am self-conscious about people listening to me talk when I don't want an audience. So anyway, I brought those home from work specifically to show off and introduce just a part of my life. For the record. And I also, at work at all times, I do wear my hair in a just, I don't know, a long ponytail, I guess is what it's called. But yeah, so. And I was going to go out for a run today, but I was out on Thursday, and the past couple runs I've been reducing the length of time I'm out there, just because it's pretty hot, and I was getting a bit overheated because I can't cool off fast enough when the air temperature is above a certain threshold in humidity. So I guess the run I did on Tuesday, I had planned on doing an 88, and I cut it to 66 and walked the rest of the way back. And then on Thursday, I was planning on doing an 88, but I was already like thinking I might cut it short because I might get overheated again. And that trip, I made it, I did a 55, but that time I didn't go out the regular way. I turned around early in case I was getting overheated, which I did. And so I gave myself an option out, and that way I didn't have to walk back so far. So I called it at 55, which is still, 6-mile run. So I feel okay about that, but definitely very, very hot. And then today I was thinking about going out and, just getting out of work. It's like, it's already warm out there. And I checked the temperature graph for how warm it's going to be by what time of the day. And, if I got out there running by 9 a.m., just right after I get back, it's already 75 degrees out. And if I went for an 88, it's going to be it's like 82, 83 degrees by the time I get done. So it just, over the course of the run, it just rises like almost 10 degrees. And then it's pretty humid too. So anyway, I looked at tomorrow, and tomorrow it's going to be a little bit cooler, and it's not going to be as warm as early. So after work tomorrow, I think will be a better day, because I definitely do like to get a run done on one of the weekend days, just because there's less traffic, and I don't have to encounter as many vehicles on the road. Because, every single... Because I don't see people on the road. I see cars. And I don't associate people and vehicles. I just see moving cars. And because I don't look at the driver. Because I don't want to look to see if they're looking at me. Because I just rather not know. I'd rather just be an anonymous runner and not be concerned over whether people are looking at me. Because I think it's rude, personally. And the same thing goes with people on the trails. It's like I don't like when I'm running and I can feel people just staring at me as I as I go by or as I approach, and that they have to have a greeting, it feels like, and an acknowledgement. And yeah, it's probably just me. Like, I've just been on other trails where it's just like people just kind of are in their own world, and they also want to be just left alone in their own world. They've got headphones, or they're just whatever. But just that etiquette and politeness of leave each other alone. People are just out there to exercise. They're not there to social and you know meet and greet. I mean, some people are. They're called, I guess they're called walkers. Where people stop and they want to chit chat, or it's like, but not a lot. I don't know how many runners or bicyclists that are interested in, you know, I don't know. It could just be me, or maybe it's from my East Coast upbringing, where people on the running trails, we mostly just respected each other's privacy. And it's sometimes just do a silent wave or nod, or but that's about it. Just raising a hand to say I acknowledge that I see another person, and that they have right of way, right to exist. Or to give friendly warning from behind. It's like coming up on your left or on your right, just so you don't startle them. And I don't know. Anyway, so I decided not, because I'm here, go for a run this morning, because I was just like, I was already falling behind schedule, and I was like, And I was thinking, I'm just tired. I don't want to go out and do the run I enjoy, except for when it's really hot. But then I get back and I'm overheated and I'm dehydrated and I'm just drenched, and I have to shower, and then I have to, there's a whole routine. And mostly it's just like today, it's like the proposition of taking a nap sounded really good without having to go for a run. And then it's like, if I could go for a run and just lie down and take a nap, that'd be great. But you get back from a run this time of the year, it's like, no, yeah, I need to wash. I can't lie down and just take a nap. Just my sweat in the hair, just completely drenched. It's like not letting that dry, and that would be a mess of tangle. So it needs to be washed. So anyway, other than that, I can't think of anything else that's really going on. It's just kind of more of the same, which isn't totally a bad thing. But more thoughts on my adventures and involvements with the recovery culture around here, and my distancing myself from it. Not departed, but distancing. Keeping my guard up, because people like me, and they know I have a quality, and they might not understand it, but I have a certain I don't know, I don't want to call it respect. Maybe it is. I'm not sure what it would. I have no idea. But the meetings I have left, for the various reasons I left them at the time, it's like I do not want to go back. I would like to. I wish I could. Sometimes go back to visit or pop in, or make a cameo almost. Though most people, I would go back. I would imagine there's a whole new cast of characters that a lot of people I would have never heard of me or seen me, and there would just be a few people to lend me their credibility and legitimacy, and acknowledge that I am a known entity. Whereas for most people, by now, I've been gone for so long from some meetings that they just see a person, they might think I'm a newcomer. As far as they're concerned, I am, because they've never seen me before. So, which is kind of cool. That it's like recovered anonymity. But people make assumptions about how much time somebody else has in recovery. And I don't talk about how much time I have. It's, because my own spiritual condition varies from day to day. And I might have a lot of practice with this. It's not a profession, this way of life. But I am no means an expert. And I don't have anyone else's answers for them. And I don't know what their questions are, or what's going to work for them and what's not going to work for them. I just say a lot of things, and if something makes sense and something works, great. But I would never claim to be a source of reliable information for how to better their chances of making a successful go of it. Because they're the only ones. They are the ones that have the answers. They are the ones that have the questions. It's either they want to do something about their own lives and try to make it better, or they don't. Or they are looking for a way out, or I don't decide. They do. So, and I have some good things to say, and I have a different way to say it, and I don't, my presentation of the material I tell my story. And I don't hold back. And I can't visit some of those meetings that I used to go to because I can't allow myself to get emotionally involved in the stories of other people that are going through them, because I get overwhelmed by all the different stories. And I just know that a lot of bad things are going to happen to a lot of them. And some will find success, and this might just be a step along the way. But I don't know. I feel sometimes as though people are trying to manipulate and coerce me and guilt trip me and shame trip me into doing things that I don't have the ability to do. And sure, I can force myself, and I did that for a long time. I can force myself to do just about a lot of things, but I don't want to. I thought I had to, and I thought other people's opinions about me and what they thought. It's like, oh, I have to keep up the appearances of being in good esteem of people around me in recovery culture or whatever. But it's like, no, I don't have to. I have the ability to do whatever I want. I'm not at the mercy of other people. What I choose to do, if I choose to do, it's enough. Whatever it is I do is enough. And if I choose to do more than enough, great. But I don't have to. So I've been granted a freedom. And it's up to me how I exercise that freedom. So I like to think that my story has value, and it means something to other people, that they can, or maybe I just serve as some sort of example, or just a different perspective on the same material that's being presented by a lot of other people, but I'm just interpreting it and processing it and speaking on it in my own way, whichever way that is. And if it makes sense to anybody else, I don't know. But I sure don't do or work the program, as it's said, in the same way as what it feels like a lot of other people do or have done. And no one can really say that I do it badly or I do it wrong, because whatever it is I'm doing or have done has worked for me. So there's something there. But I wouldn't recommend it or suggest it for anyone else. I recommend being flexible and versatile and more fluid and adaptive, and because I think that that's life, and trying to abide and adhere to a text that was written for a different time, in a different world, in a different age, for a different culture, that can lead to trouble. Rigid thinking. And I think some people reject a lot of possible solutions because it's just too preachy, and that just global generalizing and global statements of, if you don't do this, well, you're just going to fail. Really? Or your chances are going to be less than average. No. I think I tend to give people more credit than that people can choose to do or choose not to do. And there's no automatic determination that that's going to, hurt their chances. If they've had enough of their past life and they're choosing to try to find a new life, then yeah, it can be done. People have done it before. They'll do it again. And I'm just working on my own version of it. So, anyway, I can't believe I've sat here for nearly half an hour talking again. And I'm glad I wore the earmuffs. I've been meaning to show those off for a while and just hadn't gotten around to bringing them home with me. Or not home, in this case. I guess that's all I got.